Hello everybody and welcome to Mark Goldbridge. That's football. It's Saturday night. All right. It's here. It is. It's Manchester City versus Chelsea in the Premier League. And I hope everyone's doing very well this Saturday evening. A Champions League rehearsal. A follow-up to Chelsea knocking Man City out of the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago. Also, I think if Man City win, they win the Champions League. They win the Premier League. I thought Man City fans were protesting. I saw the police holding them back. They're not protesting. They're there to celebrate their title. And the police, there was about 20 police officers on the road holding them back, and they outnumbered Man City fans 20-1. If you know, you know. Anyway, there you go. Drunk Bridge. What's all this drunk? That was last. Did anybody actually watch my Insta live last night? I was fine. It was fun. Fair play to all the legends who, Insta bombed my live stream, but it was good. It's the first time I've been live since then, actually. And it was good. I enjoyed it. It was greatest Insta live ever. It was fantastic, Aaron. I'd had 5 pints, so I'd say I was on the way somewhere, but I was definitely on the journey there. But closing pubs at 11 o'clock. What's all that about? 11 o'clock. Nonsense. But it was good. I tell you what, follow me on @GoldbridgeMark on Insta. You never know. You never know when that's going to happen again. So we had I think we had 3,000 people watching, including some football players and Jackmate, who is neither a football player or I don't know where to go with that, but nice to have him on as well. He was messaging me. I'm fine, says everyone's drunk person. Yeah, if everyone says they're not drunk. I'm fine. I feel absolutely fine. I've been at football this morning, and I've been quite busy today. So I hope everyone's having a good day. It's my first time live, so I feel a bit pumped. But yes, it's good. Is 5 pints a lot? I don't think 5 pints is probably a lot for a lot of people, isn't it? I'm normally on the way at 2 pints, but I think when I get to about 6, 7, it's on the point of no return. So 5, I was on the way, but sort of pulled myself back. Anyway, interesting team news. No Mason Mount involved for Chelsea today. This is an interesting game. It's probably more interesting from the top 4 position. I was really surprised that Leicester lost last night to Newcastle, but everyone says Leicester could bottle it, and there is an opportunity there. If West Ham win their game tomorrow afternoon, I think they're playing Everton. Chelsea play tonight. Chelsea could go 3rd outright this game today. Let's see what happens there. Liverpool play tonight as well. They've got 2 games in hand on Leicester. So if they were to win this and win their game in hand, if they were win tonight and win their game in hand, they would be 3 points off Leicester with 3 games to go. So very interesting in the relation to the top 4 race. Leicester sort of bottling it a little bit. Massive game for Leicester against United on Tuesday, when United will have to put out their reserve side, because United are playing tomorrow at 2 o'clock, Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and 8 o'clock against Liverpool on Thursday. Ridiculous scheduling, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. We'll get into some of your questions in a minute, but I just want to give you the team news. Ederson in goal for Man City. Diaz, Laporte and Ake. Looks like they're playing a back three. It looks like he's playing a 3-3. It's a bit of a weird one. I think Pep's trying to do something here against Chelsea in preparation for the Champions League final, because he's gone with something a little bit different. It's hard to see what he's doing with this team. It's got Sterling, Jesus and Aguero in it. I think he's sort of playing a 5... I don't know what he's doing. It's hard to tell. I mean, what's your thoughts on this Man City team? Ederson, Diaz, Laporte, Ake, Mendy, Cancelo. So that's sort of your back 5. But then it's Rodri who will hold the midfield, and then he's got Aguero, Sterling, Torres, and Jesus. So it's quite. It doesn't make a lot of sense apart from the back 5 and Rodri, and then you've got Sterling, Aguero, Torres, and Jesus. So look, Pep's a bit of a mini genius, isn't he? So De Bruyne is not even on the bench. Fernandinho is, Mahrez is, Foden is, but there you go. As for Chelsea, Mendy, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, Kante, James, Alonso, Ziyech, Gilmore, Pulisic, Werner. So I actually think Chelsea look like they've got the better team out there tonight. No Mason Mount for them though. Jorginho, no Kovacic, he's not back yet either. Zuma's on the bench, Jorginho's on the bench, and Hudson-Odoi on the bench. It's quite an interesting City lineup. What's my score prediction? Says Churchill. I think it'll be a draw. I think this will be a draw. I mean, look, I don't think either team really wants this game. Chelsea will want to win it because they've got to try and, it's more important for Chelsea to win. Man City will want to win it as well. But I think if you ask both managers, they'd rather win the Champions League, wouldn't they? So it's interesting. I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go 2-2. Hopefully we'll get a good game. But I think in some ways, neither team is giving away anything in relation to the Champions League final because neither team is going to line up like this. Most of Man City's side, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Foden, Mahrez, they're not playing. And for Chelsea, he can play in different ways. It's a 5-3-2 for Man City, which would mean it's Rodri, Sterling, Torres in the three, and then Jesus and Aguero up front. But it's not a very strong midfield, is it? Mr. Ed says, I can't believe Timo Werner will be playing a Champions League final. Cancelo could be playing in the midfield as part gamer. So yeah, we'll have to see how Man City line up for it. But get your score predictions in. I'm not hungover, Hash. I'm not hungover. Do you want to know why I'm not hungover? Because I rehydrate. Every time I get in from a night out, I will sit in front of the sink in the kitchen and force myself to drink 4 pints of water. And that's what the hangover game's all about. It's all about rehydration. And I will then take another 2 pints of water to bed with me. I have in the past tipped that water on my head by accident because I'm drunk. But yeah, rehydration is the way to fighting a hangover. There you go. I don't wet myself either, David Dungham. City are reported to sign. Yeah, bye. Bye. Where are you? Goodbye. I have noticed if you've been on social media today, I think there's a lot of people who are very bitter bastards today. I've not really been on social media much today. It's full of bitter bastards. It really is. I mean, it's just... I don't know whether it's because they had the last weekend. There was a lot of people off social media for the online abuse stand. But what a waste of time that was. I'm glad I didn't do it because it's just back again, isn't it? Saturday, Sunday is always full of hate and basically online bullying, and I've seen loads of it today. It's just sad, absolutely sad. Nothing is going to change, is it? They all went off social media for 3 days last weekend, and it's all back again. But yeah, there's something about a Saturday and Sunday that turns people into bitter bastards, isn't it? Really. I don't really notice it in the week. I think it's because there's loads of football going on. I think as soon as teams stop playing football, like the transfer window is always horrific, isn't it, to be fair? But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game because it's not like a pre-season friendly. I think Chelsea need to win it. Manchester City, obviously, I think when they win it, they win the title. So yeah, it definitely has something to it. Derby stayed up, says Manny plays. Yeah. I think that's always a weird thing, isn't it? Like, I've seen that a few times over the years, a lot of times in the Premier League, where a team stays up on the final day. I mean, obviously there's no fans in the ground, but a team stays up on the final day and people are invading the pitch and everything like that. Yeah. And I always think, I understand why they're celebrating because they're not getting relegated. But imagine, imagine the team who didn't even get into a relegation battle but finished like 2 places above the relegation battle. Their fans aren't celebrating. They're probably quite pissed off. What I'm saying is it's quite a weird head messer, isn't it, really, that you can stay up on the final day and celebrate like you've won a trophy, but you can be 2 places above that and your team are like, get the manager out, this, that and the other. It's a weird mindset when you stay up on the final day. I get it. It must be amazing to stay up on the final day when you think, you might be going down, but ultimately you're celebrating mass failure, aren't you? So I don't know anything about Livramento, Magnus Silva. I've seen the name on the bench from Chelsea. If anyone got any Chelsea fans who knows anything about him, let us know. There's a big game in La Liga today as well. I can bring you up to date with what's going on like that. There's a big 2 games in La Liga at the moment. I did think about watching them, but I just couldn't be arsed. Barcelona and Atletico Madrid 0-0. And actually, it's not. It's tomorrow that Madrid play Sevilla. But the table, as it stands at the moment, Atletico Madrid. Let me just get this right. Yeah, it was full time between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, so it was a crap game if you were going to watch that. So Atletico Madrid are currently 3 points ahead of Real Madrid with 2 games to go. Real Madrid got 3 games to go. If Real Madrid were to beat Sevilla tomorrow, they would go level on Atletico Madrid. But Atletico Madrid's goal difference is 5 better than Real Madrid's. Barcelona would be 2 points behind with 2 games to go. And the final couple of games that you've got are obviously Sevilla against Real Madrid tomorrow night. Then you've got Barcelona on Tuesday away to Levante. Valencia against Sevilla is irrelevant. Atletico Madrid are at home to Real Sociedad, who are a bit shit. And Real Madrid away to Granada. And then the final games of the season will be Atletico Madrid at home to Osasuna. And Barcelona home to Celta Vigo. And Real Madrid are playing against Villarreal. Actually, they've got 3 games left to go. What am I talking about? There's 3 games left to go. So it's not as exciting as I thought. But I think Atletico Madrid are probably favourites to win it now. That's what I'm trying to say. I think Atletico Madrid are favourites to win it. Spurs getting destroyed by Leeds. Thoughts? Is Spurs really better off from Mourinho? Surely they have a better chance with him than without for top 4, says Yazza Said. Well, Mourinho's moved on, hasn't he? Sorry, you've probably just lost me a moment there. It just the internet just cut out, so apologies for that. Mark, if Atletico and Madrid tie, Madrid wins because they own the tiebreaker, says Ropalaruno. Don't they do it on goal difference over there? That's interesting. Hi, Mark. It's not done on goal difference, so if Madrid beat Sevilla tomorrow, then they go top as they beat and drew with Atletico. Right, Tom Hazelwood. See, yeah.
Maddie just did a flump in my face.
See the Trump in your face?
No, I didn't.
That's disgusting. Right, sit with him because he's got an apple.
He's such a liar.
Shh. Oi, Seb, I saw that. Oh, don't go upstairs. Don't go upstairs. Tuchel is in a gelée. I mean, what the interesting thing interesting thing I think about Leeds beating Spurs is that Arsenal are out now in 10th place. So, you know, I mean, look, Arsenal's. I don't think Arsenal fans are really going to care about 9th, 8th, or anything else. But they, you know, the lower they could actually they could end up in 11th if Villa win their game and Arsenal lose. But I think Arsenal will probably finish 9th or 8th, won't they? Let's be honest. Will Seb play for United? I doubt it. I don't think he's got the. I don't think he can be asked really. You know, he's one of those kids that are just very. I don't want to say lazy, but I don't know. Authoritarian Bridge, says Chad Ross Tanner, and hi Mark. It's not. Yeah, we've done that. It's not gone goal difference. So yeah, we're 15 minutes away from kickoff. I've gone with a 2-2 draw, and I certainly think that. You know, we know Man City are going to win the league. There's no debate about that. But what we don't know is who's going to get top 4. And I think with Leicester losing. And potentially losing again against United on Tuesday, let's see. That would leave Leicester on 63. They're still 9 points ahead of Liverpool, but of course Liverpool have got 2 games in hand. Chelsea need to get, you know, they can't leave the door open themselves. I don't know whether everybody knows what the fixtures are left, but it really is about West Ham and Chelsea and Liverpool for me. If you look at the league table, Everton aren't going to get into it. Spurs aren't going to get into it now. So it's Liverpool, Chelsea, and West Ham and Leicester really for the top 4 spots with Manchester United and Manchester City. Obviously, we've got Liverpool playing Southampton tonight. They've got to win that. Then tomorrow night you've got West Ham against Everton. That's a big game. West Ham need to win that. Then you've got Man United playing Leicester on Tuesday and Liverpool playing Manchester United on Thursday. And then we'll have a clearer picture with the last couple of weekends where West Ham go to Brighton, Liverpool play West Brom, and Chelsea play Leicester. And then the final week of the games will be Liverpool will play Burnley, West Ham will play West Brom, and then the final games are obviously Liverpool Palace, West Ham I think have got a home game against Southampton, and Leicester play Spurs. So I think it will probably be Leicester and Chelsea, but West Ham and Liverpool are waiting. What if Chelsea lose both the Champions League and the FA Cup, says Marketing James? Well, look, from a Chelsea point of view, they could win the FA Cup, the Champions League, and get top 4. On the other hand, they could lose the FA Cup, lose the Champions League, and finish 5th. So, Chelsea have got momentum, and I'm sure they're going to win something, but the FA Cup isn't... I mean, and I go back to this again. I always get into trouble for this, but I stand by it now. If you're a Chelsea fan, would you rather get top 4 or would you rather win the FA Cup? Because the FA Cup's not going to put you in the Champions League. So I would rather be where Man United are. I would rather be second in the league than winning the FA Cup, to be honest. Mark, you said you want Chelsea to win the Champions League, which means they are about to equal our Champions League trophy, says Sunday A. Last time I checked, Manchester United have got 3 European Cups. Lionel Vega says, let us see Seb on the stream. I'll get him on in a minute. He's just having something to eat at the moment. So, yeah, you can say that Chelsea have won the same amount of Champions Leagues as Manchester United if you want to, but everyone will just call you a prat because your tally is European Cups. The Champions League is the European Cup, and Manchester United have got 3. Long Top Gaming says, FA Cup is better than top 4. It's up to you. Up to you, innit? If that's what you think, that's up to you. I disagree. I think that in the modern game, unfortunately, the FA Cup has been devalued, and the Champions League football is more important. I agree with people who don't like it. Like Murray says, the FA Cup's only good if you win the Premier League. Also, Murray, I would say the FA Cup's good as long as you get top 4. I think it's a good trophy then. But if you're choosing between the FA Cup and top 4, the way the modern game's gone, top 4 has got more value. It shouldn't. But look, I've been manipulated by it. I'll put my hands up. I'd rather get top 4 than win the FA Cup. Arsenal won the FA Cup. Look at them. So, look, it's nice to win a trophy, but the FA Cup's been devalued. I've said this, the FA devalued it in 2000. Let's All Meet Up in the Year 2000. It's a great song by Pulp, but it's also Let's All Fuck Up the FA Cup in the year 2000. Manchester United won the treble in 99, and as FA Cup holders, we didn't defend it in 2000. Where's the integrity of a tournament when we don't defend it? And people try and blame it on United, but basically, the FA wouldn't let us put our game back by a week. They wouldn't let us do it. And we were under pressure to go and play in that tournament from the FA anyway, for some stupid reason. And I think ever since then, it sort of devalued. That was when the FA Cup started to be devalued, because it was like, well, I know teams started to play their reserves as well, but it's been devalued. Mark, what are your opinions on the young English winner? No, Big John. I tell you what, you won't catch me out, but thanks for the super chat. Would you rather win the FA Cup and come 4th, or would you rather lose the FA Cup and come 5th, but win the Champions League? This is Sebastian. I'd rather win the Champions League. Because you go back into the... I'd rather win the Champions League than get in top 4, because then you go into the Champions League anyway. It's not for me. It's not about rather getting top 4 than winning a trophy. I want to win trophies, but it's the value of the trophy. The FA Cup doesn't have value. It's a trophy. Wigan won the FA Cup and got relegated. So who are Wigan? Exactly. Barcelona just drew with Atletico Madrid. Their chances are slim. Yeah, Barcelona won't be winning the La Liga now. Real Madrid are favourites again. Do Man City lift the trophy today if they win, says Gareth. I don't know whether they've got the trophy ready, but they do get titled. They do get. Do they win the title if they draw? That's a good point. Manchester United, Manchester United have got 5 games left. So if this is a draw, City haven't won the league, because United could get 72 points. So if Man United can get 82 points if they win their last 5, but if Man City win today, they get 83. So a draw is not enough for Manchester City to win the league. I'm still in shock. Pub shut at 11 marks, says Jake. Mate, I don't know how many times I mentioned it on my Insta Live last night, but I couldn't believe it. I went, basically, in these pubs in England now, you order your drinks on your phone, right? And the hilarious thing is, I'd accidentally, but people say you hadn't done it on purpose. I'd accidentally, for some reason, I'd accidentally ordered a half. So the round came in, I went to order another half and my phone wouldn't work. So I said to this waitress, like, I can't, the phone's not working. She says, oh no, we're closing at 11. I was like, what are you closing at 11 for? I haven't been in a pub that closed in 11 since bloody, I can't remember. Getting top 4 gives you more money and all the top players want to play in the Champions League. FA Cup doesn't give you anything apart from a good day out, says Sean Negative Turner. Mark, every time my younger cousin sees Pep's big, bold dome, he gets terribly afraid and hides behind the curtain, says Joe. There you go. Mark, thoughts on Juve and Liverpool both potentially being in the Europa League next season, says Cave. And do all clubs close at 11 now? I don't think they do. If you watched my Insta Live last night, somebody actually said last week they closed it at 1. So I don't know what they're doing. Mark, I love the videos, but as long as Kroenke is the owner, I will not be an Arsenal fan. I just don't see what is the point in following the club, says J.O. Yeah, Arsenal fans, if you're in the chat, let us know how you're feeling. You know, I wouldn't say, I nearly said we've all been there, but we haven't. We've not all been 10th at the end of the season. But yeah, you must be in a bad place at the moment. You need to get change. You need a change of owner. You know, you had that good protest a few weeks ago, and then I don't know what's happening with Arsenal. I don't know what's happening with Arsenal in relation to that, but you need to keep pushing. I know second is sad, but the points gap we closed from 30 plus to possible 10-13s is really good considering it's basically the same team as last year, says Irish Penguin. I think points tally is always very important. What was Arsenal's points tally last year, for example? Because that's really important. Man United's points tally last year was 65. We're probably going to get about 75. So that's really important, I think, when you look. People get lost in, oh, you finished 8th last year. But the reality is, if you look at the league table last year, Liverpool won it with 99. You know, Man City aren't going to get anywhere near that this year. Man City got 81 points last year, so they are better. They're going to be better than that. Man United got 66 last year, so, you know, we've beat that already and we'll beat it by a bit. Chelsea got 66 last year. I don't think... Well, Chelsea should beat 66, so that's progression for them. But Arsenal last year got 56 points. This year, they're on 49. So they could end up beating their tally from last year, Arsenal. They need 7 points from their last 4. They're probably not going to do it. But, I mean, the funny thing is, Tottenham, as much as people think Tottenham's had a bad season, last year they got 59 points. This year they're on 56 and they've still got 3 games to go. Leicester have beat what they got last year. They had 62 last year. They're on 63 with 3 games to go. So I think it's always, I think points tally is always something that's important to look at. Because one thing's for certain, one season isn't necessarily as hard as another season. You know, the standard can go up and the standard could go down. So I think a points tally is always a fairer reflection of how you've done. Hopefully, with all the United games coming up, we might get to see the likes of Ahmad and Hannibal get some good minutes on the pitch. I wouldn't hold your breath, Raz. And can you see United winning the league next year? No, Harold, I can't. Man United versus Man City in the Super Cup, says Azza. It could happen. It could happen. It could be Chelsea against Villarreal. It could be Man United versus Chelsea. I'm going to have an Indian tonight, Sancho. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, proper looking forward to it. 5 minutes away to kick off. Should there be a Champions League ban and a points deduction for the Super League clubs, says Warzone 1? Well, apparently that's not going to happen. My score prediction, Gamer, is going to be 2-2. I'm going to go 2-2 in this game to Chelsea. I mean, a draw. I'm going to go 2-2. And... please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. That would be appreciated. Oh, very annoying. It's very annoying when your phone does that. How was training, says Advath. Training? I don't know what training you're on about. Arsenal mustn't be afraid to sack Arteta, says Nicholas Frost. Yeah, but you know what? I am going to get non-bred duffs. I don't think, and I'm not an Arsenal fan, but if I was an Arsenal fan, I would not be... You know, I've heard some of you fans, some of them are more louder than others, talking about sacking Arteta, and I'm like, you don't understand the politics at all, do you? Why are you sacking Arteta? For what reason would you sack Arteta before you've got rid of your manager? If you sack Arteta before you get rid of Kroenke, you're stuck with Kroenke, because he will sack Arteta, get a new manager in, and then you've got to see what happens with the new manager. You know, I would say whether you're Arteta in or Arteta out, get your manager out first, get your owner out first, because your new owner is going to get Arteta out anyway. So that's where your passion should be. But I can't tell people what to do about that. I'm not an Arsenal fan. Have you considered doing OnlyFans, says Harold? No. I've considered doing Cameo, because so many people ask me to call them a prat. I just think, you know, it'd be quite funny to record some of them every day. Still waiting for Cooking with Goldbridge, says Stephen Matthew. Good that you're waiting. And Man United are the best club. We will win the Europa League final, says Oliver Sinclair. Well, I tell you what, a lot of people have asked me to do. A lot of people have said, can you please, because I've done a few Goldbridge Reacts videos recently, some of them to my TikToks and stuff, which I'm going to do again. But some people have said, could you react to Sidemen Tinder? Which so many people have asked me to do it. I think it might be quite funny just to do that. So I might do that next as a little bit of a bonus video. Graham Potter would be good for Arsenal, says Raz Bob. And rest in peace to Jerry the hamster. He will be missed, says William Rigby. Let's get the timer ready. Yes. It could happen to any one of us. Anyone you think of. Anyone can change. Anyone can hurt. I think Cancelo might be playing in the midfield. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what Man City are doing. Don't keep me out of it. I'm just going to see what happens. It's hard to say what they're going to do tactically. You just don't know what they might do today. He's got Mendy, Cancelo, Aki. It looks like he's playing Rodri and Cancelo in the midfield. Jesus and Aguero up front. Sterling and I don't know what he's doing. We'll see. Right. 3-5-2 probably. Mark, can you sing "Never Gonna Gdansk Again" by George Michaels? It was so good, says Fresh Prince. I'm never gonna Gdansk again. Pepe's feet, it's got to no rhythm. No, I'm never gonna Gdansk again. The way United do. I'm never gonna Gdansk again. Pepe's feet, it got to no rhythm. No, I'm never gonna Gdansk again. The way United do. I'm never gonna Gdansk again. Pepe's feet, it got to no rhythm. No, I'm never gonna Gdansk again. The way United do. They're not my lyrics, but I do like it, so I will sing it. Anyway, we're getting really close to kickoff here. Exciting times. I think it should be a good game. Remember, it is the rehearsal of the Champions League final between Manchester City and Chelsea here. Man City win this game, they win the Premier League, which is an iconic moment. Chelsea win this game, they pretty much secure top four. So it's very, very big game in that sense. And I don't think either team are going to take it lightly either. I think, obviously, interesting that neither team's put their strongest team out. Welcome to Gold. Welcome to XXX, latest member of the club. And Salford sacking their manager halfway through the season backfired, missing out on the playoffs. And Nev is so against sacking managers, apparently, says Sean Negative Turner. What do you think about Chelsea's style of football, says Kaelin? I think it's quite effective. I thought the way that they played... They're so good defensively, Chelsea. I think that's the big thing. If I was to... It's interesting, actually. Box Office Bridge, this Gdansk song, and I'm Walking in the Air are gold, says K.A. Thanks, K.A. And hi, Mark. Would you switch positions with Chelsea in the Champions League and live with if City win their first Champions League against us, says Clinton Sam? I don't know what that means. Mark, what other score syndicate plans for Glazers out? I think protest hit hard, more the better, says Channelly. I think there's a protest on Thursday, isn't there? There's a protest on Thursday, and the response to the Glazers, letter of yesterday has not been very positive. So there's a lot of work to be done there. Look, I'm on the United stand at 8 o'clock tonight, and the one thing I've always said is that you need a united fan base. We've kicked off here. You need a united fan base, and we haven't got a united fan base. So that's always going to jeopardise anything we try to do. But I've been quite open about the fact that for me, in the first stage, I'm not even bothered if the Glazers stay as at Manchester United. And people think that's really shocking. Oh my God, look at this Goldbridge. He doesn't even want the Glazers out. But you can clip whatever you like. That's not what I've said. What I've said is I want 50% or 51% of that club to be owned by the fans. And 49% of it can be owned by private investors. And if the first stage of that is that the Glazers give up 51% and keep 49%, I'll guarantee you they won't keep that 49% long before they sell it. So I would rather the Glazers were still here with 49% and fans had 51% than what we've got at the moment, and that might be the first step, because ultimately we want 50 plus 1. Who the private investors are is irrelevant in the first stage. The first thing is to get 50 plus 1. Maguire plus Eric Shaw, Bay, Lindelof best pairing, says Maxwell Gibson. And sometimes I wonder if Werner and Torres are siblings. Mark, what do you think? This is Sunday, eh? Do you agree with Cantona that Rashford should get it over with and come out? I don't know what you're talking about, Harley, Matlock. I don't know what that's all about. I've heard nothing about that. Sounds homophobic to me. Mark, how would you react if you found United would be banned from the Champions League next season? Well, we're not going to be banned, are we? So I don't need to relax. I don't really need to relax. Mark, what did you do after you got drunk last night? Says Oliver Sinclair. I went to bed and tried to watch the new Alan Partridge and fell asleep. Rock and roll. I don't know what curry to go for, Arthur. Let me know in the chat. I am having a curry tonight. Could go tikka masala. Could go buttered chicken. Yazil says, Mark, I like your glasses, mate. Thanks. They help me see. Rudiger's got his mask on again. Korma's a bit bland. I don't mind a Korma, but it's a bit bland. Thanks everyone for tuning in as ever. We've nearly got 10,000 watching. Please smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, you're very welcome. I don't know what the next watch along is because I've got so many watch alongs to do for United. I've got tomorrow lunchtime, 2 o'clock tomorrow, Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, Thursday night at 8:15. So I've got 3 watch alongs with United in the next 5 days. I think Chelsea are playing Arsenal on Wednesday, so I'll probably do that as well. But we missed the FIFA career mode last night because of yesterday afternoon, because of the Glazer letter that I had to react to. Oh, bit of a chance here for City. He's through. You've got to go across. You've got to go across. And he shoots over the bar. I think it was it Torres? Yeah. Ferran Torres there. Slipped in. Lovely little ball by Aguero. Flicks it. No, it wasn't Aguero. It was a slip by Christensen. And Ferran Torres. It's not very quick, is he? Are you watching the Liverpool game tonight? Says Jamie Fox. No. I hate it when United play at 8:15 on a Saturday night, let alone anybody else. I think it's I know it suits some of you, but I can't stand 8 o'clock Saturday night games. I don't like it. I like to do United stand at 8 o'clock and then, get a film on by 9 o'clock. That's my Saturday night. Oliver wants Chelsea to win because if City win, they win the league. Well, they're going to win the league at some point, aren't they? But it would be... I forgot Aki was at Man City. He's been injured quite a lot, hasn't he? A day in the life of Goldbridge. Yeah, I could do that. So that's quite nice. That's quite a good idea for a video, actually. I'll write that down. If the Champions League final was Arsenal versus City, who would you prefer to win? Says Elotti Gaming. Well, first of all, that would be the sort of situation where I'd be picking the winner whilst sitting on my gold throne, a billionaire, and playing up front for Manchester United, because it's fantasy talk. Arsenal in a Champions League final. So I don't really need to think it through, because my life would be so good, because it's a fantasy that Arsenal would be in a final. But if Arsenal and Man City were in a Champions League final, I would probably want... Well, it doesn't really matter. Neither of them have won it before, so I wouldn't want either of them to win it. But I don't know. I mean, part of me thinks City, but then I think... I'd probably say City, because as much as they are a City rival of Manchester United, I think that if City win the Champions League, nobody will even notice much. It won't be spoken about much. Whereas if Arsenal won the Champions League, you'd never hear the end of it forever. So I think I'd probably say City. Mark, which means to me Arsenal are a bigger rival, which is stupid. But I don't think they are. But I just don't think I could put up with those gobby Arsenal fans. Mark, here's £2 to call my brother Tobias a prat, says Krupcher. Tobias, you're a prat. Do you think Liverpool playing 3 at the back is a good idea, considering Konate is a done deal, says Morad? Is that what they're looking to do? Well, 6 minutes into this game, quite an equal game at the moment. Both teams knocking it about. But yeah, I was talking about that before. With Chelsea, I think if somebody was to say what's been the most impressive thing that Tuchel's done at Chelsea since he's been here, it's definitely the defensive work. He's stopped them conceding goals. I think under Lampard, they never really sorted their defence out in the 2 years he was there. And Tuchel's done it in a very, very quick way. But I've got to say, Pep Guardiola this year, if you said what's impressed you the most about City this year, I would say their defensive work as well. They've hardly conceded any goals either. The defensive work that they've put in is exceptional. Here is Man City. Good shot there by Jesus. Comes to Mendy. Shoots it wide from the edge of the box. Isn't it funny how Juve, AC Milan, Liverpool, Arsenal and Spurs want a Super League but can't get top 4 or struggle with it, says Elric. Well, that's why they wanted it, isn't it? You know, they've got no right to be invited in. I liked Lampard's philosophy, especially in his first season. Day in the life of Goldbridge would be quality, says Harry Priestley. I mean, I saw somebody was on about this today because they pulled up an old tweet of mine from a couple of years ago where I said that Lampard's got a philosophy and Ollie hasn't. And I'm like, oh yeah, but this is just these, cancel culture twats, really, who go and find these tweets and take them totally out of context. Like, ask me a question then. That tweet's from 2 years ago. I'll tell you what I think now. Lampard did have a philosophy and he did have a style of football. It just ultimately cost him the sack. But I think for the first year, Lampard's style of football... I remember Lampard coming to Old Trafford with Derby and playing United, and his style of football was the same as when he went to Chelsea the first year. It was quite an attractive style of football. He just couldn't make it work at Chelsea long enough for him to keep his job. Now, if you ask me what Ollie's style of football is, I don't care. I do back Ollie, and I want him to do well, but I am still an Ollie doubter. I still don't know whether he's good enough to take us where we need to go. And I also don't really think his style of football is that great. So all these people who say, oh, look at Goldbridge, what he said about Lampard and Ollie, I'll still say it. I think Lampard's philosophy was more easy more easy on the eye than Ollie's now. But look, who's the idiot? Because Ollie's still in his job and Lampard's sat on his sofa eating a pot noodle. Like, it's true. But Mourinho won titles and Champions Leagues playing a poor, I say a poor, it's not poor if you're getting success, a dull brand of football. And I think Ollie this season, the football, any United fan, look, we're very happy with where we are, but the football we've played this season for the vast majority of it hasn't really been that exciting. The time is flashing. I don't know what's going on with this timer these days. Is Sancho going to Man United, says Said? I still think that Jadon Sancho is the most likely marquee signing for United, but we'll see. I'll fix the timer now. 10,000 are watching. Yep, thank you very much for tuning in. Please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We will be doing the Euros on this channel, watch-alongs. If anyone remembers the World Cup, I nearly did every game of the World Cup as a watch-along. I'll certainly be doing a lot of them. So, yeah, get involved with the channel. Everybody's welcome on here. Champions League final will be on here as well. FA Cup final. Yeah, so lots and lots of football on for you to watch. But both teams sort of cancelling out each other out a little bit here. But Kante's won it. Brilliant on Wednesday night, Kante, of course. He was fantastic. I find it interesting with Kante because obviously not a Chelsea fan, so I don't watch them week in, week out like Chelsea fans do. But when I'd seen Kante over the last 18 months, I was like, oh, he's on the decline. But I've seen him a few times in the last few weeks. I think he's been brilliant. Really good. Mark, can you scroll up? You missed my super chat, but we might have a chance at snatching Man City if they lose the last 3 games, says David Nen. No. David, it's not going to happen. Man City will win the league. Not being relegated is about opportunity, Mark. See Aston Villa, they barely stayed up. Now they are mid-table, says an old. And Mark, be honest, you reckon this window will be crazy one for us where you'll be live every 5 minutes, or a dual one like last year? By the way, rest in peace Claude on his funeral, says Andrew. So, yeah, rest in peace to Claude, whose funeral I think was it yesterday or today? Sterling's just been booked here. That's a red card. That's a red card. I don't know. How is that not a red? That's Anthony Taylor for you. He's absolutely shit. Like, absolute. That's a clear red card tackle. When you look at what Stones got sent off for a couple of weeks ago, and you look at what Cooper got sent off for a couple of weeks ago, that's a red card tackle by Sterling. And Anthony Taylor is the I can't tell you what, I can't stand Anthony Taylor. He's ruined my Saturday night already. I didn't realise he was the ref. He is the worst referee, and he always seems to rob Chelsea as well. Remember the FA Cup final last year? He's such a bad ref, Anthony Taylor. But look, I don't want to see people getting a red card, but for me, that is a red card based on what we've seen being a red card. I mean, what about the West Ham one last week? I don't hate City at all. I mean, if you listen to what I just said, I don't think John Stones should have got sent off against Villa. I don't judge it on who's done the tackle and what colour team shirt they're wearing. I judge it on the actual incident. I don't care whether that could have been Aspilicueta tackling Sterling. I still would have said it's a red. I'm talking about the decision. I've got no real interest in who wins this game tonight, but for me, that's a red card based on what... And it's this... He's not been sent off. But this is the problem. It's the inconsistency. As a consumer, as a football fan, we are not being served up consistency. And therefore, it generates a lot of frustration. Because I see that from Sterling, and I'm like, why are VAR not telling him that that's a red card challenge? But they do it with Stones against Villa. And they do it with Cooper against Leeds. It's odd. But here's Reece James down the right-hand side. Cross comes in. Edison gets hold of it. A few of you saying it's not a red. Absolutely fine. I don't care whether you think it is a red or not. But for me, I think over some of the red cards we've had in the last few weeks, that should have been reviewed as a red card. But it's a yellow card and it's fine. It's the inconsistency. And for anybody who says you're being biased, I'm actually using the John Stones red card as a reference point, that I don't think John Stones' red card was a red card. But I think if Stones was a red card, that should be a red card. I'm talking about the incidents and I'm talking about consistency in football. Because tomorrow there might be a tackle like that in the Man United Villa game and Bruno Fernandes might get sent off for it. And that's what I'm saying. Do you think we won't see a red card like that Sterling one there? It's not a red card. I understand that. It's been given as a yellow. But what I'm saying is there's no consistency. That same tackle could happen tomorrow and get a red for it. I thought the John Stones one was a joke as well, Baron, but it got reviewed by VAR and then it didn't get rescinded. Sterling looks like a poor man Ashley Young, to spawn of Satan, and will you be doing Liverpool versus Southampton? No. No, I'm doing United stand at 8 o'clock. I have a nice curry and then I'm going to watch a film. I'm going to play Resident Evil Village. Yeah, that's the next game I'm going to do, Scott. Here's Man City on the attack with Mendy. Good turn into the box. Plays it to the edge. And it's a corner to City there. What do you think about James Garner playing in the pivot with Pogba next season? They are both pass masters we really need, says Baloo. I don't think Garner's ready to play for Manchester United first team. And I think he needs to go on loan next year because Ollie will just sit him on the bench all year like he has with Brandon Williams. People forget Aston Villa only stayed up because of technology failure in the game they played against Sheffield United. The goal that crossed the line and GDS system wasn't turned on, says Aidan. I don't know what curry I'm having, Dave. I've not really had the statement. I've not really thought about it. Ooh, chance for City there, headed over the bar by Aki. Just curious, what do you think of the Europa Conference League, says Leatherface. I don't understand how it works. Thanks for the super chat. I don't know how it works. I don't understand how it works, and I don't know who's going to be in it. So, that was nearly a goal for Man City there. It just flicked off the back, the head of Laporte. Here's Ziyech into Werner. Got a bit of space to run into Werner here. Nice little layoff. Good block by Mendy. And he's given a foul. I think there's a new Champions League format coming in the next couple of months. Not next couple of months, next couple of years. 2024, I think. Eab, evening. Any chance of Brendan Williams playing for Southampton next year? Says Matthew Emerson, who is a Saints fan. I did hear that the Saints were interested in taking him on loan in January and United wouldn't do the deal. I wish they bloody had, because he's not played any football this year. He's basically wasted a year. He needs to go on loan. Give it to Eddie Cavani. Pass him the ball and let him score all the goals. Brutos says the Europa Conference League is for the leftover clubs that finish 6th in the league. I mean, some of you may not be old enough, but I'm old enough to remember when we had the Super Cup. It used to be the European Cup, the UEFA Cup, and the Cup Winners' Cup. And the Cup Winners' Cup was always a little bit banter. Any chance Dan James will play for Leeds, says Alpha James. I don't know. I think Leeds do like the look of him. If I was Dan James, you need to play first team football. Who all from the United stand are going to Gdansk, says Balu Singh. I think at the moment we're just trying to see the logistics of whether it's possible, because there's not going to be many tickets available. I think there is ballots and everything like that. So we will see. Obviously, if we can get over there, we will go over there. But there are all sorts of flight restrictions and all sorts of things going on at the moment. But our plan is to get over there, yes. Portuguese greetings from David Fonseca. I've had a chicken korma before, Umo, yeah. What's your thoughts on the game? I think it's an interesting game. I think the Champions League is going to be very much the same. I don't really see much of a difference between Man City and Chelsea. Obviously, Man City will be the favourites because they finished top, but I don't think there's a huge amount of difference between both teams, and I think that tactically it'll be a really interesting final. Werner, heavy touch. He's done well though. Got it over in the corner now. Still so many players at Chelsea that realistically next season, will they kick on a level? Havertz, Ziyech. Have a think about Alan Boona. What is a Boona like? Is it really hot compared to a Tika? Dylan says, I think Werner's getting more confident by the game. I had butter chicken before. It is quite nice. It is. Anyway, chance for Chelsea to whip across into the box here from a free kick. In it comes. It's not terrible. And Aki gets up for it. Here's Pulisic. Conference League is for whoever wins the EFL Cup, but if both teams are in the top 6, it goes to the FA Cup winners, and it's the same. So then 7th place gets it, says VK Boss. So it'd be 7th because Man City won it, didn't they? Thanks for that. I've got no idea how the Europa Conference is going to work. Will it have a league system? It just sounds like a load of shit, to be honest. Somebody in the live chat, I won't even shout them out for the hate. They just said Rashford needs to leave next season. He's not United level. If he's not United level, then we need to get rid of about 15 players before we get rid of him. Don't lie, Mark. I love the smell of crazy. This is filthy. Okay. It'll be who comes 7th who goes into the Europa Conference, says Tox. It's the Poundland Europa League, says AMK. iCold says I was on your Instagram live yesterday. Well done, the legends. Who do I think is going to win the Champions League final? I think it'll be a very similar game to this. I think it'll be very, very close between the two of them. And I think Man City are the favourites. I don't know who's going to win. I think Chelsea are capable of beating City. Boona's a mild mark, tomato based. My favourite curry. I encourage you to spend this £5 on one next time you order, says Matthew Perret. And as an LFC fan, I'm praying for United to win the Europa League and City to win the Champions League. Don't know how it won't work with Chelsea, but 5th will get Champions League, says LFC Gods. Oliver Sinclair says, Mark, what's the most viewed video you've ever had? I don't think there's many videos that are out there with me on 1 million. I found one the other day that was on some Mark Silverbridge channel that had 1 million. I know that the YouTube Gogglebox has had over 1 million on it. So I think the most viewed video of me is not on a channel that I own. So that's quite interesting. Mark, how do you feel about Leicester signing Babakari Samari? I don't know whether they are, Tony, but again, it would just be a good indication of the quality of signing that Leicester make. They've got good scouts at Leicester. I missed your Fall Guys video, says Rahul. I'll have to do a Fall Guys video again, just for the bants. 1 million views on the Spurs video. Yeah, wonder why. Who do you think deserves to win the Champions League more, Pep or Tuchel? Says Ryan. Well, I don't think it ever comes down to who deserves it. I think that they're both, to be fair, and it's the way it should be as well. But Chelsea and Man City are definitely the two best teams in Europe. They're not the best teams in England in the Premier League, but the Premier League is its own competition over 38 games, and you get the top two, which is Man United and Man City at the moment. But the best two teams in the Champions League have been Man City and Chelsea. Chelsea have had Chelsea have beaten Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid. They deserve to be where they are. And Man City have beaten PSG and Dortmund, and they deserve to be in the final as well. Genta says, are you coming to Turkey for the final? Well, I wouldn't go to the final to watch Man City play Chelsea, and I don't think we're actually... The British government are saying we can't go to Turkey anyway because it's the red zone. Devanch says, if you could sign one player for United right now, who would you go for? Well, who would you go for if you could get one realistic signing for your club? Who would you go for right now? That means if you're an Arsenal fan, you can't say Erling Haaland because it's not realistic. You've got more chance of signing his dad. But a realistic signing for United for me, I think the one that, and I think sometimes in life you should always go with your first thought. For me, it would be Declan Rice or Varane. One of those two players, because we desperately need a centre-back and we desperately need a CDM. And I would love to buy Jadon Sancho, but we need a CDM and a centre-back. This is, if you watch the game against... oh, Werner's gone down injured here. If you watch the game against Roma, the midfield just got run over all over again. Oh, Werner's really hurt himself here. I don't know what happened. Let's have a look. That's Laporte. Well, again, that should be a red card. No, I'm only joking. It's reckless. Mark, I think you have a soft spot for Chelsea, says Vlad. I don't have a soft spot for Chelsea at all. There's just been a couple of games this season where it's, beating Man City to stop them winning the treble was a big moment. Anthony Taylor's just a crap ref, Advath. Oh, pure and simple. Chambers says, if Chelsea get second in the Champions League, get top four and win the FA Cup, and Man United win the Europa League and come second in the Premier League, who has had a better season? If Chelsea win the Champions League, they've had a better season than everybody apart from Man City. You could even say they've had a better season than Man City. I think at the start of the season, there's always the debate, what's more important, what's the better trophy to win, the Champions League or the Premier League? And I always say it depends on who you are. Like for me as a United fan, I would rather win the Premier League because we haven't won it for a long time. I think as a Liverpool fan, you probably want to win the league as well. As a Man City fan, you want to win the Champions League. As a Chelsea fan, I don't know. As an Arsenal fan, you're just saying please anything. It's not always clear cut that the Champions League is the better tournament because you might not have won the league for a while, and it's important to do that. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the Premier League is basically the Super League anyway. At the moment, the Premier League is the best league in the world. So if you win the Premier League, that's harder than the Champions League, I think. Did DT respond to you the other night? Yes, he did, Baloo. He was very gracious. He's not very happy. But he wasn't angry. Just won £300, so here's 5. Love the content from all your channels, says Ease Fusion. How many points from United's next few games and keep up the great work, says Ease. I think United will probably take about another 8 points from the last 15, which will take us up to 75 points, which is a good points tally. If we get more than that, great. Mark, prediction for Liverpool versus Southampton game, and thanks for all the prayers for India, much needed, and boosts best football content on YouTube. This is Sahil. Thank you very much. Liverpool have got to win. Liverpool have got to win. If Liverpool don't win tonight, then I think top four is basically going to be Chelsea and Leicester, isn't it? Unless West Ham do a madness. And West Ham have got to win tomorrow afternoon against Everton. Premiership, stroke FA could be a Super League with relegation. Clubs could buy in for $1 billion, less for Championship, etc. with buy-in fee to relegated clubs, says David. Yes, Ollie Ball, I am having a stretch. Yeah, but they need to win. Liverpool need to win tonight. I just, fair play if you're watching it, I can't be arsed. I can't be arsed with it. There's so much football coming up as a United fan over the next few days. I'm like, I don't want to... I watch United play. Well, Man United Liverpool is on Thursday and there's another protest. So I'm sure that they'll have plans in place to make sure the game goes ahead. But... we'll see what happens. I'd say Chelsea been the better team so far. Not massively, but I think Chelsea look the more likely team to score. Even though Man City have actually had more shots on goal. No one's had one on target yet. Ivan says, do you think Rice will be sold if they get European football? They might not. Look at the speed by Reece James there, but across comes... I think it was... I don't know who it was, actually. What I like about Chelsea, though, is that they're very good at... they're very confident on the ball. Good play by Ziyech. He's got options here, Ziyech. Into Alonso. Cross. It's not a great cross. Comes to Reece James, edge of the box. Werner! He's offside. He knows he's offside. He scores, but he's offside. Cross came in from Reece James, and Timo Werner is about a yard offside. Maybe a metre. Well, he's not even a metre. He's about 5 metres off. Is Grealish fit for tomorrow? Apparently not, Harvey. No. It's funny as well because I've been speaking to a few Villa fans and I never realised this, but apparently Grealish has a problem. I think it might be shin splints or something like that, and he's had it for quite a while, and he's always going to have it. So whether anybody would ever pay money for Jack Grealish, a player that's never really likely to play all of a season, I don't know. Here's Werner in again down the left-hand side. He's on his own. He needs some support. And he shoots wide for a goal kick. David Coleman's a Liverpool fan. He says, we're at home to Southampton tonight. What could possibly go wrong? Ehab says, what do you think of Leeds beating Tottenham? Well, Leeds are capable of beating anyone. I think Leeds have had a good season for the resources that they've got in the first season. I had about 5 pints last night, Oliver Sinclair. What's your final top 4 predictions, says Samuel Towers? Well, get in the chat. What do you think, everybody? I think that obviously Man City are going to win the league. I think United will get second place. I think Leicester have probably got enough points to be okay now, but I'm not convinced that Leicester will finish third. I think Chelsea will get third, and I think Leicester will just about do it and get fourth. But yeah, I think Chelsea will get third. I don't think Chelsea are going to lose this game. Shin splints, I reckon that's the stupid low socks causing that. Pull them up, Grealish, says Callum. Nice play by Chelsea on the edge of the box here. That's a bad ball by Reece James. What do you think about Neymar's extension, says Suker. How do you think Leeds will do next season, says Max. Depends how many players they buy. Here's Raheem Sterling. Oh, he's done well. He did beat Kante, got the shot off, but easy save by Mendy. How do I think Leeds will do next season? Depends who they buy, really. Sean Negative Turner says it will be City, United, Chelsea and West Ham. I think a lot of people would like that, you know. I tell you what, if West Ham get Champions League football, Declan Rice won't be going anywhere, though. But they've got a chance. I think if West Ham beat Everton tomorrow, they've got a chance. Big game for West Ham. What do I think about Neymar's extension? And we're talking about him extending his contract at PSG, not the thing he's built on the side of his house. So Neymar is currently 29, and he moved to PSG in 2017, so 4 years ago. So he moved to... if I'm absolutely blunt, I think Neymar's a fantastic player. There are sides to his game that I do not like, but I think he's... I'd pose the question, do you think Neymar's wasted his career a little bit? And when I say wasted his career, of course he's not wasted it. He is considered to be one of the best players in the world. But I don't think a player should be going to the French League at 25 and retiring there, which is basically what he's doing with this new contract. I think Neymar should be playing in the Premier League or La Liga. Maybe the Bundesliga. Maybe Serie A. But the French League, I think he's wasted in there. It's arguably the fifth best league in the world. It's not in the top four. So I think it's a bit of a shame for Neymar, but you know, it's up to him, isn't he? To be fair, a lot of Brazilians don't have that mentality. You know, what were the Chelsea lads, Ramirez and Oscar, who went to the Chinese league in their... I don't think they're even mid-20s, were they? Or they're around their mid-20s. And you think, what you're going there for the money. So maybe there's a different mentality for Brazilians, because they're not European, are they? So they don't really see the value of different leagues. But I think it's a shame for Neymar, because I think a little bit more patience. He could have been the superstar at Barcelona. He obviously has a really good relationship with Messi, and I think if he'd stayed at Barcelona, he would have been more of a superstar than he is now. And I think that, you know, it's like Neymar. For every year, it's about can PSG win the Champions League? And I think PSG's best chance to win the Champions League may have passed. I think it was last year and this year, and I think the Premier League's too strong for PSG at the moment. So yeah, I think with Neymar, he won't care, but I think he's wasted his opportunity, because I don't think he should be playing in the French League from 25 to 33, which is what he's going to effectively do. I'd like to see him in the Prem, definitely. Mark, have you been to Singapore? No, Wafi, haven't. Neymar's all about the money, says Bjorn. Well, he's not the first Brazilian player to do that. He's not the first South American player to do it. He's not the first European player to do it, and he's not European. So I don't know the reasons why, but I just think that he should be in a better league. Having said that, can we just remember the world that we're living in at the moment? Who could afford Neymar? Who can pay Neymar his wages? And actually, PSG is probably one of the only clubs that could do it. Maybe Man City, but would Pep want Neymar? Probably not. So his options probably aren't that great. Advath says Neymar is definitely wasting his career in the French League. Got too much talent to stay there. Neymar's sister refused to leave Paris, says Wilf. Shane Healy says the Premier League isn't too strong. Well, if Arsenal, who are 10th in the Premier League, get to a semi-final of Europa League, and Manchester United are going to win the Europa League, and Man City and Chelsea are going to contest the Champions League, I would say that the Premier League has proven that it's too strong for every other league. I mean, Arsenal are a mid-table club, and they very nearly got to the final of the Europa League. That's how bad the rest of Europe is at the moment. And I know Arsenal fans are gutted that they didn't get to the final, but I'd use it as a positive for the Premier League. 10th place Premier League club gets to the semi-final of the Europa League. 2 teams in the Champions League final. Another team in the Europa League final. The Premier League is bossing world football at the moment. If there is a Super League, it's the Premier League. No one's anywhere near it. The only team I've seen this year that's really made a Premier League team not look that good was Real Madrid against Liverpool. I thought Real Madrid looked a lot better than Liverpool for a large portion of that. Do you think that somebody just said there? Do you think that how long do you think the Premier League will dominate world football? I personally think there's only 2 teams in Europe at the moment that can challenge the Premier League: PSG because of their money, and Bayern Munich because of how well they are run. I don't think the Italian leagues are set up to take on the Premier League clubs, and La Liga, unless Real Madrid and Barcelona can find some money, I don't see them massively improving either. So Bayern Munich and PSG are pretty much the only 2 teams I think that can cause problems for the Premier League dominance at the moment. Do you think Mbappe is going to leave PSG? Says Naya. Well, maybe not. If Neymar's staying, maybe not. Mark, could be big, same mistake. Arsenal are a top 10 team, says Andrew Lees. And hi, Mark. Where do you see Man United in 5 years' time? Fighting for trophies or rebuilding again? Cheers from Canada, says Jude. Depends what happens with the ownership. If somebody said to me, where do you think Arsenal's going to be in 5 years' time? If you tell me that you're going to get a decent owner in, I think your future in 5 years' time will be a lot better than if you stick with what you've got. And I'd say the same about Man United. If the Glazers are still in total control of Manchester United in 5 years' time, I predict we won't have won a title. If the Glazers do move away from control of Manchester United, I think that United have got a chance of getting back involved in winning big trophies again. What I'd like, like sometimes on your router, you have to get a pin to stick the pin in the reset button. United need to hit the reset button so that when it restarts again, there's no debt and we're actually trying to be a football club, because the revenue and everything and the sponsor interest will still be there. We need a reset. Mason Reed says, I watch your live streams every single day and I love your content. Where do you think PSG will finish if they join the Premier League? Mason, I think if PSG joins the Premier League, or they would be challenging to win it with Man City. It would be... They would. They've got the resources to do that. This is on Sky. We'll be playing either or at half time. So if you want to tell me 2 subjects, we will do it. Hassan says Mahrez or Salah. Salah. West Ham's running is quite good, but they've basically got I think if they can beat Everton tomorrow, they've got a great chance of getting top 4, because Leicester's running is dodgy. They've got United, Chelsea and Spurs to play. What you got for tea? I'm going to have an Indian tonight. I'm going to order it in a minute. Hi, Mark. Do you think Leicester will bottle top 4 again? Says James. Oh, good shot. Good save. Chelsea with the shot. They still got it with Alonso. I think it was Ziyech with the shot. Comes to the edge of the box for Rudiger. He's going to hit one as well. And he just goes over the bar. Let's watch this back again. It was Ziyech with the shot from the edge of the box. Ederson should always be saving it, but in it comes to Ziyech on the turn. Good shot. Ederson using 2 hands to palm it away. 2 questions as a retro. Would you rather take Sancho or Bellingham, considering Pogba leaves? And if we sign Sancho, what happens with Ahmed? If Pogba was leaving, I'd buy Bellingham. Yeah, we need midfielders. Torres or Werner? What, Ferran Torres? Definitely Werner. Definitely Werner Sunday A. So it's about to hit half time. Oh, it's a terrible mistake. Aguero. A goal. Sterling. 1-0 to Manchester City. Defensive error by Christensen. And it's 1-0 to City. And it's Sterling. He wants a foul. Shouldn't even be on the pitch. Shouldn't even be on the pitch as far as I'm concerned. He should have been sent off. But it's a mistake by Christensen. He goes to win the ball. Jesus squares it to Aguero. And then Raheem Sterling comes in and taps it in. Pau Torres, what does he have to do in Europa final to convince you that he's good enough to play for United, says Rudy Cox. It's a bit of a smash and grab goal for City, to be fair. I don't know whether... Is that a bit of a foul on Christensen as well by Jesus? Does he give him a bit of a shove? I think he's misjudged the bounce of the ball, really. I'd like to see that again. I don't know whether there was a bit of a shove on Christensen there. But well taken goal by Sterling. And Jesus took advantage of the mistake as well. I don't think they're going to review it on VAR. I think it's a goal. No, they're not going to review it. It's Christensen's injured. It's not a foul. It's just that Christensen's injured. 1-0 to City. Thanks everyone for watching. Please subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. And Zuma's going to be coming on here. Mark, how are you keeping, mate? Love your videos on all your channels. Listen to you daily. If you ever come to Ireland, let's go for a few pints. Says Sean. Sounds good to me, Sean. Sounds good to me. JJ, I didn't say it was a foul. I said they haven't shown it back again. I think Sterling should have been sent off for the foul on, about 20 minutes ago. But at least the game's got a goal. It needed a goal. Sunday says I meant Fernando Torres or Werner. Oh, Fernando Torres is way better. Would you do Olympic watch-alongs in the summer? Says Daniel. No. Ronaldo or Cantona. Here we go. It could be 2 for City. Oh my God. Is he giving a penalty or is he giving a foul? He's giving a penalty as well now. Bloody hell. Anthony Taylor. He better get this right. He better get this right because he's a crap ref anyway. Watch this. No. I don't think that's a penalty. I don't think that's a penalty. I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, I'm like, it makes no difference to me what happens in this game at all. But I tell you what, FA Cup final, Anthony Taylor, Chelsea screwed them over today. Anthony Taylor should have sent Sterling off. Soft penalty. I think he's a dodgy ref. I really do. But look, I would have wanted a penalty for that if I was a United fan. So I'm not going to moan too much about the penalty. I think it's a little bit dubious, but oh, Aguero! Aguero has tried to dink it down the middle and made himself look a prat. What a prat! What a prat! He's tried to do, is it a Panenka or something like that? He's tried to dink it down the middle and Mendes just stood there and one-handed cap. He's basically, he could have waved at him. What a prat, Aguero. What a prat. It looks good when it works. Basically, he's ran up to it. He's tried to chip it down the middle. And the keeper's just got up and gone, one-hand catch. And that's half-time. It's half-time. It's a funny old game, that. But probably justice, really. I don't think Chelsea deserve to be 2-0 down. 1-0, I think, is about right at the moment. But they don't deserve to be 2-0 down, but they should have been 2-0 down. Very big chance there for Aguero. He's messed it up, and there's no Aguero moment on that. But what's your thoughts on that half? Have Chelsea been robbed? Have they been cheated? I mean, look, I don't think the game has that much on it. It's not the Champions League. If this was the Champions League final, I would be saying, bloody hell, City are a bit lucky. I think Sterling in a different game would have been sent off even though it probably is a bit harsh to send him off when we've seen some of the red cards recently, specifically to City against Stones a couple of weeks ago. If that's a red card, then that's a red card for Sterling. The penalty, I'd want that as a United fan. I would want that if that happens to Bruno. But 1-0 half time. It's there to play for. I mean, I've seen penalties like that not given, and I've seen Sterling tackles given as a red. So City a little bit fortunate, I would say. It could have gone either way with the red card, and it could have gone either way with the penalty. Chelsea a little bit unlucky, but neither. I mean, look, I think this will end up in a draw. I've got a funny feeling it'll end up in a draw, but I'm glad that it's got a goal, and I think the second half will be interesting now that it has got a goal, because it will need to it'll open the game up. And I'm actually glad Aguero missed the penalty, because I think at 2-0 the game's probably over. Do a Eurovision watch along, it'd be hilarious, says Daniel Fawcett. And so Aguero tried to chip it down the middle, and the keeper just stood up and caught it, so he made himself look a bit of a prat. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Everyone's welcome on here. We are going to play either or at half time as well. I'm just going to have a little bit of a stretch. Anthony Taylor's a terrible referee. Absolutely terrible. He was the FA Cup final referee last year, and I was doing a watch along, and I turned it off after 70 minutes. And I'm not a Chelsea fan, and I'm not an Arsenal fan. I just felt as an experienced, he ruins that whole game. He was the referee for Man United against Spurs, and he sent Martial off, even though Lamela had assaulted Martial first. And there's numerous other games. I think he's a terrible referee, and yet I think he's the number one referee in the Premier League. I think he's the one that gets used in Europe as well. So he's a terrible, terrible, terrible referee in my opinion, but others might really like him. So that's the world, isn't it? This ref makes me want to turn the game off, and I'm a Chelsea fan, says George Metcalf. He does seem to have a problem with Chelsea, I've got to say, but he's a terrible referee, and I don't like to. You've always got to be very careful in this world, because if you criticise somebody, you don't want it to turn into abuse, and I don't want it to turn into abuse. But this is an entertainment business, and he's a very bad referee in my opinion. That's an opinion. I don't need to take it any further than that. I mean, God, bloody people have enough opinions about me and other people who are supposedly in the entertainment business. So I'm sorry, Anthony Taylor, I think is a bad referee, and it's based on many games of watching him, and it's not about not wanting City to win. If City win, City win. City are going to win the league anyway, and they deserve to win it. It's about the inconsistency, and he just seems to be a very, very inconsistent referee. But let's not forget, he is supported by VAR. VAR could be in his ear saying that, about some of these things. What would Deitch say if his player did that penalty, says Masonry? Well, I'll tell you what, if that's Tarkovsky, that's not a penalty. But if it's on wood, it is a penalty. And that's football. That's what it's all about, right? We're all fucking flip-flops. We're all hypocritical idiots, because if my defender does that, it's a bloody travesty. What you on about? But if it happens to wood, it's a nailed-on penalty. That's football. We are creatures of I went into Kermit the Frog. Ha! Frog! But yeah, it is true. If that penalty happens to you, it's a penalty. If your defender gives that away, it's not a penalty. I'm not blind to that, and I don't think anybody else is blind to that. That's just the way it works. Red tinted glasses, whatever. But I thought that penalty could have been given, and it could have not been given. It is what it is. But I think there's an element of justice that it got missed, because I don't think Chelsea deserved to be 2-0 down. And in relation to the game itself, I think it makes it very interesting that it's 1-0, whereas at 2-0, we already know that Man City's defence is so good that it would be hard for Chelsea. I mean, just watching this back again, does Jesus push Christensen there? I don't think there's enough there. I mean, look, you could say when you watch this back, does he push Christensen? I mean, I don't think he does, but some people in the live chat were saying, look at what Jesus does to Christensen. He does give him a shove. I don't think he shoves him enough. I don't think he does, but I've not really commented on that. I've not really commented on that. I'm not going to moan that should have been a foul on Christensen. The penalty, it's soft. It's not like he's left his leg out. It's a soft penalty, but there is a contact there. I don't. I think a lot of refs wouldn't give a penalty for that, you know. If it's given and he's missed it, but I think a lot of refs wouldn't have given that penalty, to be fair. Never want to see Anthony Taylor ref another Chelsea game. Has an agenda against Chelsea. Every game he refs feels like against Barcelona 2009. Every game, says Anti. And Mark, you should play one of these games next, says Josh Davis. And Ziyech low level, says Alvin Matthew. Tuchel was annoyed as they weren't allowed to bring Zuma on, says Charlie Slade. And the game's gone a bit soft, says Advath. Man United get those penalties. Giovanni, I've already said that if that happened to United, I would say it was a penalty. So I'm not going to pretend that if it happened to United, I wouldn't want a penalty. But it's not United, so I can look at it in a more pragmatic way and say I think it's a little bit soft. Let's just say I don't think that I don't think all of those would have been given as penalties, but every time. I mean, there's only one penalty. What I'm saying is I don't think every ref would have given a penalty there. Inconsistency, though, this is what, as fans, we always end up in an argument because there's so many inconsistencies. Hi, Mark. Heard you mention Resident Evil Village. If you're planning on playing that, you should play as a direct sequel to that. Love you, says Quality Gamer. Thanks very much on that. Any Arsenal fans here? Good evening, says Imac. And Salah or De Bruyne, says Guy. Still Salah for me. Yeah. I don't blame Aguero for going for a bit of a chip there. I think it's all right. What's Gary Barlow's opinion on the refs? Says Massive. I don't even think my Gary Barlow impression's that good, but I thought it was absolutely rubbish, Mark. Definitely maybe, or what's the story? Morning Glory, says Lennox mate. Definitely maybe. YouTube or Twitch, better for streaming, Mark, says Footy King. At the end of the day, it's a click, go live. It doesn't make any difference to me. They do feel like very different platforms when you're live on it, but that's because I do very different type of content on there. So, yeah. I was going to do some Twitch this afternoon, actually. I just ran out of time. I was going to do a foot draft. Should Arsenal sack Arteta, Mark, says Jaskren? Not before you get rid of your owners. I think Arsenal fans should be focused on changing your owners. You can't focus on sacking your manager and getting rid of your owners. You've got to focus on one. And I think Arsenal's future is more about infrastructure. I think if you brought in Pep Guardiola, he would not be able to make you get top four unless you gave him 300 million quid. So if you're going to give Pep 300 million, why have you not given it to Arteta? That's what I always think. It's like, you know, how much money has Arteta really had? Nowhere near enough. Now, whether he's the right manager or not, if he gets the sack, I don't think he could complain. But if any Arsenal fan thinks that you're not top four because of your manager, you're a fool. I can tell you now, Arsenal are nowhere near top four because you're not good enough. It's not nothing to do with your manager. Maybe you could finish sixth, but you're not going to finish in the top four. So for me, if Arsenal genuinely want to be a top four side again, you've got to get change in the way your football club is run. I don't know your financial situation. I don't know whether you make enough money to be run better, but the infrastructure of that football club needs to change, because if you are going to continue just changing managers and not really investing in your team and you know, removing the deadwood, then you are going to struggle. Arsenal have played 38 games this season and they're in 10th, well, not 38, but they've nearly played 38 games and they're 10th. Last year they played 38 games and they're 8th. Over 2 seasons, your average position is 9th. And it's right. You are the 8th, 9th or 10th best team in England. And Arsenal shouldn't be anywhere near that. Arsenal should be in the top 4. But you're not good enough. And that, whether that's down to your manager or not, you are not good enough. And I think Arsenal fans are in danger of, you know, obsessing about changing the manager when you should be focused on your... you've got to look at short-term pain for long-term gain. If you stick with Arteta and get rid of your owners, your new owners will probably get rid of Arteta anyway, because every new owner wants to stamp their authority and have their own man. But I think if he does get sacked in the summer, he couldn't have any complaints. Benzema or Cavani? And I didn't invest in Dogecoin, whatever it is, Sean Atwood. Benzema or Cavani? Ooh, I'd probably take Benzema. I love Cavani, but I think Benzema is He's one of my favourite strikers, Benzema. I think he's and I tell you what, I think Benzema in the Premier League would have been a really interesting player because he's quick, he's strong, and he's. I think he would have been. He reminds me like a little bit like a Drogba sort of striker, and I think he would have been brilliant in the Prem. Mark, stop ignoring my super chat. You prat, says Knuckle. Ronaldo or Cantona? Ooh, good question. Well, Ronaldo's a better player than Cantona, and that is proven over. Like Ronaldo's one of the best players the world's ever seen. Cantona's not one of the best players the world's ever seen. He was a fantastic player, but he's not one of the world's best ever players. Ronaldo is. So on talent, Ronaldo. On impact on Manchester United, Cantona, because Cantona was the thing that took us from being a team that was good to making us into a team of winners. So Cantona's more iconic to Manchester United, but Ronaldo's the better player. Reeve says that Benzema's trash. Well, you know, one man's trash is another one's treasure. Best or Ronaldo, says Liam James. Well, I never watched George Best play, did I? Mark, if you have the right to let any of our family choose a team, who would you let any of your family choose? Arsenal. If you have the right to let any of your family choose a team, would you let any of your family choose Arsenal, says Sunday? Well, no, I wouldn't want them to be depressed. I'd say don't do it. Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels, says William Kalu. I can't split them. They were both two of my favourites. And Benzema is good. Gally Barlow or Sean Dyche. I find Sean Dyche easier to do. Thoughts on troops? I've got lots of thoughts on troops. But, you know, why bring the mood down? And am I the only person who can see that Jesus pushes Christensen? I don't think it's clear cut. Pulisic is the best. I think there's definitely a case that he might have pushed Christensen, but I don't want to be called a City hater on something that I'm not 100% sure of. But the fact that VAR decided not to look at it, I don't know. I don't know whether VAR's got the night off tonight, because I think the Sterling one should have been reviewed as a red card. I thought the penalty looked like it should have been looked at as well, and I thought that maybe there was a push on Christensen. So there's three incidents there where, as a Chelsea fan, I'd probably be a little bit, concerned about it. But you know, it is what it is, I suppose, and we'll see what happens in the second half. I think it'll end up in a draw. Yeah. Give me some ideas about what to. I'll tell you, we're just we're just waiting for the second half to kick off. Evening, Mark, Bruno or Pogba. If you can only have one of them to stay at United, says Andy and Bruno. I really love Pogba, but I wouldn't let Bruno go because I think the impact that Bruno's had on the club has been fantastic. I'm just ordering an Indian takeaway for my tea tonight, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on what I should order. I'm just going to get the normal sort of. What sort of Indian curry I should order. So give me some ideas. I'll give you some ideas as we go. But we'll definitely have some poppadoms. I'll go with plain. And we'll get some chutney pickle. Yeah, that'd be nice. Players are just about to come out, so I'll just start the timer as well. No changes. Anthony, imagine if they changed the referee at half time. Mike Dean came out. We've subbed off Anthony Taylor. That should be allowed to happen as well. Of course, if City win, they win the title. We're up and running for the second half. Let me just make sure that that's on the screen, which it is. Great. What's a jalfrezi? Cooked with onions and green peppers. Is that hot? Is a jalfrezi hot? I don't know. Sag paneer is nice. Stir-fried spinach with tempered spices cooked with cottage cheese. That is quite nice. I like that. Garlic bread. Garlic naan. Right, give me some ideas. I want chicken. Chicken tikka chennai, tikka buna, tikka masala. Butter chicken, it's really good. I have had butter chicken before. It is very nice. What do they call butter chicken? I can't remember what it's called. It's not called butter chicken at this place. Anyway, Man City on the ball. If anyone remember what they actually call chicken, butter chicken, it's not called butter chicken. It's called something else. Get a chicken du piasso, says Leo Cullis. United have got 4 games in 7 days, says Salah Ahmed, so Bruno can't possibly play in every one of those games. Which one of the games would you rest Bruno in and not play him? It's got to be the Leicester game because it's the one in the middle. You can't play Bruno. You can't rest Bruno against Villa and then play him Leicester Liverpool. The problem is it's 6 o'clock on a Tuesday and 8 o'clock on a Thursday. You can't. That's the one. If you had a choice of any manager to manage Man United, who would it be? Says Leo Man United, and it can be any. I think that I would. It's called a Makini. Yeah. I think that I would like to see. As an experiment, I suppose I would like to see the. I wouldn't mind seeing Pep in charge of Man United, or Klopp. I wouldn't mind seeing either of those because I think it would be interesting to see how it works. It's only words, and words are all I have. Well, I've placed my order, and I've had a chicken makhani, which is a butter chicken. So I've gone with that. So I've gone with the butter chicken tonight. Mrs. Goldbridge might not be happy. She might have said, I'd have preferred to have a tikka masala. But I've gone with the makhani. So, which is butter chicken. Chicken makhani. It is nice. So there we go. What kind of football would like total football? Calcetto, the bus, tiki-taka, all Scottish football, take the ball, pass the ball, says Felix Keenan. I prefer Klopp's style of football to Pep's because it's more about my favourite style of football at the moment. And look, I think the great thing about football is that it does evolve. If you look at football 12 years ago, even 10 years ago, you had the invention of Pep was just starting off, wasn't he? But you also had Mourinho's football that was still capable of winning things. I like my favourite style of football at the moment. It'd be interesting to see what everyone says in the live comments. What's your favourite style of football? My favourite style of football at the moment is I like teams that press high up the pitch, lots of energy. When they get the ball, I like them to move the ball quick. I don't like slow football. I don't like get the ball, have a look around, pass it sideways. I like quick, confident footballers on the ball, and I like teams that press high up the pitch. I like people who whip across into the box and get people into the box. So I think I don't know what you describe that. I mean, a few people saying Bielsa ball. I think Bielsa's football is good. Tiki taka I find a little bit. I mean, look, I'll always say the way Pep gets his teams to play he's so methodical and he puts so much work into it, and there's no doubt that he's a fantastic coach. I'm just not massively in love with Pep's style of football. I've found it a little bit slow at times, even though it's not. I think prime Klopp is good. Like the Liverpool team of 2 years ago and last season, up until like the lockdown, is good. Probably most similar to what Sir Alex Ferguson used to do. Really, that's probably why I quite like it. Wenger's football was good. Rock, yeah, it was. I like risk-taking football. I like confident players. I like players that are happy to play first touch passing, happy to Aguero shoot straight at the keeper. But I do like Bielsa. That's another man. I tell you what. I mean, if we're talking about experiments, if you could take any manager at your club, I'd love to see what Pep would do with Man United. I wouldn't take him as manager, but I'd just love to see what he would do in an experiment situation. I'd love to see what Bielsa would do with a Chelsea or a United as well. Would he be able to... Because in theory, if you gave Bielsa the players that Chelsea have got, he should be winning the league. If he can do that, good shot by ZX straight at the keeper. But yeah, risk-taking football, that's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. What is Ollie Ball? Ollie Ball is basically counter-attacking football with two holding midfielders who protect the back four and then quick players on the break. That's basically how Man United play. Although it is starting to evolve in the last few weeks. I think with Pogba playing closer to Bruno, we've become more of an attacking threat. We're making a lot more chances for Cavani now than we were without Pogba there to share the load with Bruno. So there is a development there, and I hope to see more of a development under Ollie. Twitter's just full of Aguero's missed penalty. Which is funny. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Oh, has anybody seen this? I'm very, very interested to get your thoughts on this. It's being reported by Marca, who are very close to Real Madrid, and they're saying that Real Madrid, Barcelona and Juventus have sent a harsh letter to those clubs who've pulled out of the Super League, warning them of serious consequences if they formally leave the Super League and return to UEFA. I mean, what's everybody's thoughts on that? I have only just read about that there. It's quite interesting. I might read up on that a little bit more for the 8 o'clock show on the United Stand. Endgame or Infinity War, couldn't give a shit, Man United YT, because of that. I've never watched either. I don't watch Marvel, and that's not because it's not good. I've just never took the time to watch it, which is there you go. But my initial thoughts on that are what Sahil says. I couldn't give a shit. Really couldn't care, because there is no way Man United are going to go back into that Super League. If there is any positives from what that Glazer's letter said yesterday, and I don't think there is any positives because, actions speak louder than words, is that they will never be able to go back into that Super League because they've now said it was a mistake and that they want to consult with the fans in the future. Well, the fans don't want a Super League, so Manchester United are never going to go back in that Super League. Chelsea will never go back in it. Man City will never go back in it. So you can send a strong, harsh letter as much as you like. I mean, at the end of the day, it always makes me laugh when people say that they're going to send a really harsh letter. Because you know what you can do with a letter? You can put it on a fire and burn it. Oh, it's gone. That's how harsh it is. Can't even beat a lighter. How would you describe Sir Alex Ferguson's style of football? Love the content, by the way. This is Man United 1999. Sir Alex Ferguson's style of football did evolve over the years. And obviously it did because he had different coaches. He had Steve McLaren, Brian Kidd, Mike Phelan was there, Rennie Mullenstein, Carlos Queiroz. We had a lot of different assistant coaches, and obviously each one of those had different ideas. But if you're asking me what was Sir Alex Ferguson's football, I would say risk-taking football, definitely. Playing on the front foot. He was the sort of manager, if it was 1-1 with 10 minutes to go and he felt that those 2 points were important, even if it was in October, he'd bring a striker on and go for it. And we might lose sometimes, but we might win. So he's a risk-taking footballer. Definitely a manager that liked to use the flanks, which is probably why I like using wing play a lot. Wing play with wingers, but fullbacks bombing on. Crosses coming into the box. And then the important thing about those crosses into the box is that you'd have 3 or 4 players getting in the box. So it'd be your 2 forwards, whether it's a number 10 and a number 9, and then one of your midfielders there. So if he was managing United now, he would have Bruno and Cavani getting in the box, but he'd also be asking McTominay or whoever's playing next to Fred to get in the box as well, taking risks, getting crosses into the box. Counter-attacking football, yeah, very good on the counter, but also very quick with the ball when they've got it. Pass and move football. Interstellar or The Martian, says Nandia. Is The Martian the one with Matt Damon in it? Because I quite like that. Interstellar, I don't know whether I've watched that. 100% sure. My girlfriend Alicia came out with depression. Need advice, says Gerald. Oh, I'm not. Don't ask me for advice on things like that, because that's very serious. I can give you some advice on, your girlfriend leaving you or something like that. But if she's suffering with depression, then you need to get proper help with that. I can't give you advice on that. All I would say is she's done the right thing by letting you know, and she needs the support of her friends and family, and potentially I would say that get some medical advice on it as well. The only thing the European Super League was going to do is to dig Madrid and Barcelona out of a financial mess. Nothing but self-serving, says Dane Grayson. I think Real Madrid and Barcelona desperately needed that Super League. Look at what's going on in La Liga. 100%. 100% right. Smile, an everlasting smile. Oh, shite. A smile can bring you near to me. Put that back in. Everton ball, says Jude Jones. What's Everton ball? With all due respect to Leeds, though, I would love to see Bielsa manage a better club. Because I don't like Leeds. Dirty Leeds. I don't like Leeds. Manchester United fans don't like Leeds, and Leeds don't like Manchester United. That's the way it is. But I've got to say that I have enjoyed watching Leeds a lot this season, because I just love the way Bielsa plays football. And I think that's something that I've probably learned from a lot of you over the years of doing United Stand and this channel, is that I think that for most of my life I've always been very blinkered to everything's United, everything else is shit. I mean, I lived through Gerrard, Lampard and Scholes, and I never acknowledged that Gerrard and Lampard were good players. I was just like, screw them. They play for teams I don't like. They're crap. And I think in the last couple of years, certainly, I look at football now in a more... And maybe it's because United aren't challenging for titles, so you have to be more realistic. But I do look at football more realistic. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, I don't know. I do appreciate the fact that, Mason Mount is what a player. Phil Foden, what a player. Yet they play for teams that, could arguably, and are arguably better than my team. But, 10 years ago, I wouldn't acknowledge it. I'd be like, no, fuck that. Bang! Reece James. Oh, good block by Mendy. That Super League is desperate for the English brand, says Sean Negative Turner. Biggest league globally. They just want to coin off our game. Send your letter, says Sean Negative Turner. Exactly. Thanks everyone who's watching, by the way. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Chelsea pushing a little bit here. Pulisic. Oh, just over the bar. I do think they'll score at some point. Asif says Mason Mount is a 6.5 at best. But that's the beauty of football, Asif. You think that, and I don't. And I don't... You can't change my mind, and I can't change yours. I've seen a lot of Mason Mount this season. I think he's a fantastic player. And I think Phil Foden is as well. But you might think they're both shit. That's up to you. Do you think Ferguson should have been a bit more defensive in the 2011 Champions League final? Could have given United more of a chance, says Sumya. No, I disagree with that, Sumya. I think the 2009 final against Barcelona, we could have won that one. And I was gutted. Absolutely gutted. In Rome, we just won it in Moscow the year before. I fancied us in 2009. In 2011, it wasn't really a contest. Barcelona were huge favourites in that, and we didn't. That wasn't United with Ronaldo. That was United with bloody Rooney. Rooney was basically it. So no, we weren't good enough to beat that Barcelona team. I think the only way to do it would have been to, like you say, maybe park the bus and try and nick a goal, but that's not really. I don't think Sir Alex Ferguson was ever going to do that. Hi Mark, I think we will see a different football under Ollie when his job is secure. What is your favourite CDM? It wasn't a big name like Rice as Chelsea. Sterling scored the goal, Jack. I do like Basuma, and I think he can definitely do that role. Some people think Basuma's a centre midfielder. I would agree, but I think he can also play CDM, as in fact he played CDM against United a few weeks ago and did very well against Bruno. So I would like Basuma from Brighton. And what I like about Basuma is that there's an argument that Basuma plays a better brand of football at Brighton than Rice does at West Ham. Like, they're a very well-coached team at Brighton. So I do like Basuma. I'd love United to buy Basuma. A lot of people talk about Camavinga. Zakaria has been mentioned. I knew he would as well. Who's been playing better, Joe? Quite an equal game this, to be fair. You can't argue with the fact that City are winning it, but it's been quite an equal game. Thoughts on Fati? I've not really seen enough of him because I don't watch the Liga. Here's Chelsea with a chance. Ziyech into Pulisic, wide, back post. Goes to Ziyech. Oh, what a goal by Ziyech. 1-1. I told you Chelsea would get back into it. It's a lovely bit of play by Chelsea. And it is 1-1. What a hit by Ziyech. I nearly said meatloaf, like a bat out of hell, but that's not what I'm trying to say. Rodri got caught in possession. It comes into Ziyech. He plays it to Pulisic, who gets it wide. It's a lovely hit. Absolutely lovely hit by Ziyech into the bottom corner. Gets it back on the edge of the box from Aspilicueta. Game on. Game on. He's an interesting player, Ziyech. I mean, it's a lovely goal by Ziyech, that is. But he's an interesting player, Ziyech, isn't he? Because I think that when Chelsea bought him, I was like, like I'm sure every fan, I'm sure Arsenal fans are like it, Liverpool fans are like it, Chelsea fans are like it. You support your team, but you hear about players that you might be buying, and you do a lot of, he'd be brilliant, and you never buy them. But when Chelsea got Ziyech, I think like a lot of people, I knew a lot about Ziyech from Ajax, and he was definitely a player that was going to leave Ajax. And I don't think he's had the best start to life at Chelsea, but I think he's almost got that potential to be a little bit like Fabinho. Not in relation to the position, but in relation to he has that potential to maybe a bit of a slow starter, but then really becomes a good player. And Fabinho was like that at Liverpool. He was a slow starter in the first year, and then he became, one of their best players and one of the best players in his position in the league. So, next season for Ziyech, I think Chelsea have got a few players like that. It'd be interesting what Tuchel does next season, because he's got a few players like Havertz and Werner and Ziyech who really could get better and better if he sticks with them. But Chelsea are the better team in the second half. Lovely play. That'll go out for a throw. So 1-1, 25 minutes to go. I told you it'd be a draw. I said 2-2, but good game on our hands at the moment. And again, I think the Champions League final is going to be really interesting because Chelsea just don't look a million miles behind Man City. I think most teams that Man City play, you're like, they're miles ahead. And I think that's the really interesting thing. The same thing happened with Liverpool for a couple of years, that when Liverpool played Man City, you never really saw any definitive difference between the two teams. And I think when I've watched Chelsea play Man City over the last month, the FA Cup semi-final and today, there's no definitive, Man City are way better than Chelsea. So I think the final is going to be very, very interesting. And next season will be very interesting. But most teams I watch play Man City, and Man City are, they're miles better. And it's like, can they nick a goal? Can they hold them out? But They're very, very well matched teams, these two. That's down to coaching, says Annie. Also, what I would say is in relation to the Champions League, let's be real, this won't be the Chelsea side, and this will not be the Man City side. They'll be very different. There is no De Bruyne or Foden or Gundogan on the pitch for Chelsea. For Man City. And Chelsea will play differently as well. You know, maybe Kovacic will be back for the final. I certainly think Jorginho comes back into the equation. Mason Mount comes into the equation. Maybe Chilwell comes into the equation as well. Thiago Silva. So both sides possibly missing 3 or 4 first teamers. Significant first teamers as well. I think it'll be a very interesting final. I think the final is 3 weeks tonight. Is it the final? 21? No, that can't be right. Would it be 2 weeks tonight? So Foden and Gundogan are coming on for City. It's 1-1. Yeah. How's your day, mid-mark, Bob? All right. I'm a bit tired today because I wasn't up late last night. I was just I was a little bit drunk, but not massively. It's on the 29th of May, which is 3 weeks today. Wilf says, have you heard that Leicester are in for Bakary Samori? I knew that they were in for him a few weeks ago. Obviously, there's another link there. It wouldn't surprise me. Leicester very good at bringing in players, especially from France. Well, double substitution for City coming in here. Jorginho's coming on for Chelsea as well. Kante coming off. Kante. I'd love him at United, yeah. If you'd asked me about 2 months ago, I would have said no, but he's still very good, isn't he? I had a super chat come in here from... How would you describe... So I've done that one from Man United. Man United 1999 asking us how you would describe Sir Alex Ferguson's brand of football. Here's Ziyech. Gets it nicely wide to Werner. And Werner's gone down. But it's not going to be a foul. Because he's wearing a Chelsea kit. And Anthony Taylor doesn't give fouls to Chelsea. Let's have a look at it. Nah, there's nothing in that. To be fair, nothing in that. I agree with you, GR. I think it's been a good game. I think both teams have moved the ball quickly. I think it's been a good game. Oh, dear. Arsenal's a sleeping giant. Says Raw Projects 55. I wouldn't call them a sleeping giant. I'd call them a giant's corpse. They ain't waking up, mate. They're flatlined. Harry says, how was the pub last night? The live was class. I loved it. I just can't wait for things to get back to normal again, because we'll get a United stand meetup sorted out around the world and things like that, and I'll be able to have a drink with some of you lot, hopefully. Is Sterling overrated, says Zach? He's not overrated. I just don't watch enough of City. I don't. Is Sterling overrated? Yes and no. I mean, he's a very good player. And Pep Guardiola wouldn't use a player if they weren't good. So he is a very good player. But would I rather play Foden ahead of Sterling? Yes. Would I rather play Mahrez ahead of Sterling? Yes. Aguero's come off and Ferran Torres has come off. And Gundogan and Foden have come on. Corner, edge of the box. Gundogan shoots over the bar. 20 minutes to go. Would you want Sterling at Manchester United? I don't know. I wouldn't say no, because I think he'd be a good option. I wouldn't say he's a bench option. He'd be a good option, but would I want Phil Foden at Manchester United? Yes. Would I want Sterling at Manchester United? I wouldn't say no, but I don't know whether I'd necessarily start him. Many people would. Would Liverpool want Sterling? I think the same again. I think they'd like to have him as an option. I don't think he'd go straight into the first team, definitely. Would Chelsea want Sterling? Again, I think they'd go, well, we'd like to have him, but he doesn't definitely go into the first team. Would Arsenal want him? Bloody hell, he'd be the best player. So, yeah, he's not a bad player, Sterling. I just think is he world class? I don't think he's world class. But Arteta out says, look, Sterling's got 15 to 20 goals a season for 3 or 4 years. He's not a bad player, is he? He's not a bad player. I just think it's where do you rate? Is Sterling world class? No. Is he top class? I think there's a conversation to have there, yeah. Hi Mark, would you ever put out a series with you looking at icon moments in football history? Says Dej. If I didn't get copyright strikes for it, I probably would do it. I'd love to do Goldbridge reacts to Gogglebox or something like that, but I can't do it because I'll get into trouble. Reece James with the cross. Oh, he's had a good game, Reece James. And stretching out Werner there, misses the ball. He needs to get up. Chelsea could win this, 20 minutes to go. They've been very good. Will you ever get bored of football, Annie? I don't think I will, because no game's ever the same, is it? No, the great thing about football is that no game can ever be the same. You can get similar score lines, but one 0-0 is never the same as another 0-0. I don't think I could ever get bored of the sport, because I've played it all my life and I've watched it all my life, and I've been here for a few years now, so I don't think I'll ever get bored of football. But what I do think is that I could fall out of love of football, in the sense that I could stop watching the Premier League. I could stop watching the Champions League. And the Super League is the closest thing I've ever seen to that. Because, so close, Werner on that cross from Reece James. Yeah, I think if the Super League had happened, I don't think I would have carried on watching football the same way. Because I couldn't watch a sport where, there's 15 teams that play in it every year, and it's a franchise, and it's non-competitive, and it's just about making rich owners richer. Here's Ziyech again. He's had a good game, Ziyech. Cross to the back post. Headed away. Instead of chasing Kane, who we don't really need, isn't Son a less injury-prone buy for United to play on the right, says Balu? He plays on the left, though, Son, doesn't he? Chelsea did score, Hamed. Ziyech. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Remember, everyone's welcome on this channel. We will be doing the Euros. We'll be doing a Champions League final watch-along. We'll be doing an FA Cup final. I think the FA Cup final is next week. Pretty sure the FA Cup final is next week, isn't it? So we'll be doing that. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And remember, everybody's welcome on That's Football. It's not club specific, so everybody's welcome. Oliver Sinclair says Ziyech has been really informed tonight. He has. He'd be a contender for man of the match, I think. I think Reece James has been very good for Chelsea. For Man City, I haven't really noticed a Man City player have a great game, really. I don't think they've been bad, but... The Beatles, ABBA or Queen? Oh, that would be between ABBA and Queen for me. Matthew says Rodri's been man of the match. He did make the mistake leading up to the Chelsea goal there, didn't he? I do agree. I think Rodri, I like Rodri. What a signing he has been. And he has played well, but he did make the mistake on the goal. Do you think Chelsea will evolve more under Tuchel? Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, he's come into a team in the middle of the season. When he has a full summer, it won't just be about buying and selling players. It'll be about really having the time to get his team playing the way he wants to play. Do you think, well, somebody just said there, will the Champions League final be played in England? It has to be played in England. I mean, UEFA need to wake up here, because there will be fans allowed into the ground in for the Champions League final, but it's being played in Turkey, and English people cannot go to Turkey because it's the red zone in relation to COVID. So there won't be many fans in the ground. So put it in a place where fans can go. And obviously, because they're both English clubs, just play it in put it at Wembley. Put it at Wembley. Lovely play by Reece James. He's done well. He's done very well there. So no nice cross. Oh, again. Reece James crossing is it's been very good today. I don't know whether that's his sort of thing. Could play it at Villa as well. Yeah, doesn't have to be at Wembley. Play it at Villa, yeah. Oh, the playoffs are being played at Wembley then. Yeah, play it at Villa then. If Chelsea win the Champions League, would Lampard get credit, says Red Harlow? No. He hasn't managed them in any of the knockout games. Next game to play, Dark Souls 3 would be a laugh, says Redlining Coffee Machine. Here's Sterling. He's all on his own though. Good hold-up play. Well done. Did well there. Finds Mendy. Here's Jesus. Good play. Oh, I tell you what, I thought he'd scored there. So if this finishes a draw, Man City don't win the league. They go to 81 points and they need 83 to win it at the moment. And unless Man United don't win tomorrow, and then they can't catch them. So Man City need to win the title. If they don't win and United lose tomorrow, they win the title. Or if Man United draw tomorrow. Chelsea, if they draw, would go to 62 points. Which would be a good result for West Ham and Liverpool, who are trying to close that gap on them. If Liverpool win both their games in hand, they'll be 3 points off Leicester, and Leicester have got a harder run in. So lots of interesting twists and turns to go. And don't forget West Ham. I do think West Ham's run-in on paper is favourable for them, but tomorrow against Everton's a tough game. Somebody was just asking about the Bundesliga. Dortmund are into 4th place now, so it looks like they will get top 4. Unless Eintracht Frankfurt win their game, they go down to 5th place again. Werner! He's done it! Has he done it? No, he's offside. Second goal for Werner. Second offside for Werner. Oh, he's miles off as well. He's miles off. Laporte was back with him, but he's miles off. Zinchenko's coming on now. And Mendy comes off. It's funny, I did predict that Werner would get the golden boot, and everyone takes the piss out of me for it. But when you think about it, it was logical that Werner could win the golden boot because everyone thought he was a good signing. Everyone knew that Chelsea needed a number 9. And I thought 20 to 30 goals was a possibility. Dark Souls 3 is really hard. You will die a lot, says Reclining Coffee Machine. Okay. I'll write it down. I don't know anything about it. Chelsea again, coming forward here. Pulisic, she's having a look. He needs to go wide to Reece James. Cross comes in. That's got to be a goal, and it is. It's Tammy Abraham. He's offside as well. 3 goals from Chelsea offside. Unbelievable. Goes to Reece James. Ooh. Yeah, he is off. He's off. They're doing a VAR check. Yeah, he's offside. And it was Hudson-Odoi, not Tammy Abraham. Sorry. I was getting excited about the offside. Now Sterling's in. This could be a goal for Sterling. What a tackle. What a tackle by Zuma. Rudiger gives him a high five. But going back to the Chelsea, 3 goals offside. You've got to be having a word with your strikers there and saying, hold your bloody run. Hold your run. Great tackle by Zuma. But yeah, I think Chelsea could have won this game. I'm sure West Ham and Liverpool fans are like heart in mouths here. They don't want Chelsea to win because the more teams that drop points in that top 4 race, the more chance they've got of catching up. So Liverpool and West Ham, they'll be praying that City... Well, they probably want City to win, to be fair, but they certainly won't want Chelsea to win. Favourite fighting games of the 90s? Killer Instinct, Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat for me. I like Streets of Rage. Here's Werner. Chelsea really pushing here and they seem to have the fitness levels. Chelsea doing Morata proud here, says that boy. There's a foul there. About 10 minutes to go here. And Reclining Coffee Machine says if you play Dark Souls 3, you will rage on camera. There you go. Best result for United, says Chocolate Pudding. Probably a draw. Yeah, draw. No, a draw is the best result for United, definitely. Unless you think United are going to win the league, which I don't, a draw is a good result for us because we want to keep hold of second place, don't we? And what a draw does for Manchester United, obviously Leicester lost last night. Man United have currently got 67 points. Leicester are 4 points behind us. And Chelsea are 5 points behind us if they draw. So a draw would be a good result. And also it means that City don't win the league. So, yeah. There is an 8 o'clock show on the United Stand yet. I've just not set it up yet. I'll set it up after this. Come on, Eileen. Oh, come on, Eileen. You wanna eat? Come on, Eileen. Come on, Eileen. Oh, yeah, come on, Eileen. Oh, yeah, come on, Eileen. Oh, come on, Eileen. So, got about 5 minutes to go here. Chelsea have been the more likely team to score. I think across the game, I'd probably say, as SB says, the last 20 minutes has been mainly Chelsea. I don't think there's any future for Tammy Abraham at Chelsea. Does anybody else think that, you know, his Chelsea future is not looking good? He never ever gets brought on. I mean, as you know, I thought he had brought him on, but it's Hudson-Odoi who's gone up off Werner. So yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Tammy Abraham. To be honest with you, I think he deserves a little bit more game time than he gets. I mean, I don't think he's a Chelsea standard top 4 striker, but I certainly think that he should get a little bit more time. Foden on the front post nearly wins it and the title. Remember, it would have been the title for City. One minute. I think my curry might be here. Got ears like a bat. Ears like a bat, I am. I thought I'd heard it, and I was right. I was right. We're moving on up now. Well, I haven't missed a goal, one back. Hi, Mark. If Chelsea wins the Champions League and FA, but City win the Prem as well as the Carabao, who has had the better season? Depends where you value the Champions League and where you value the... Werner's in down the right-hand side. It depends whether you value the Champions League more than the Premier League. For me, I would say the Champions League and the FA Cup is arguably better than the Premier League and the Carabao Cup, because the FA Cup's better than the Carabao Cup, and then it's whether you think the Champions League better than the Premier League. As a United fan, I would rather do what City's done because I want to win the league. Would be interesting to see if Chelsea decide to give Lampard a Champions League medal given his status at the club. Enjoyed the live last night, says Daniel Luciano. Thank you very much. We've only got about 4 minutes to go here. And he nearly gave a penalty there. Sterling wanted a penalty. He's not getting him. He's not getting one though. He's saying, "Why am I not getting a penalty?" Zuma against Sterling. I think that might be a penalty, to be honest. To be honest, I think this is more of a... That is a penalty. If not Dark Souls, Bloodborne, that's hard, says Reclining Coffee Machine. He's absolutely useless. Oh, they're in. Alonso. Oh, he's nearly scored. Pep's furious. Alonso got through here. He tried to chip Ederson, and it was very, very close. Do you think Arteta stays for next season's guitar? But I think Arsenal will keep Arteta, yeah. But I don't know why. I mean, look, here's my impartiality. If that's happened to me as a United fan and Sterling's playing for United, I'm screaming for a penalty. And I don't think Chelsea deserve to lose this game, and I don't want them to lose this game. And I thought, but if it's a penalty in the first half, it's a penalty in the second half. Like, it is. That is, And this is what I keep talking about. People say you're being bitter about City, you're being bitter about this, you're being bitter about that. I'm not being bitter about anything. I'm being bitter about inconsistency from referees. The same prat of a ref gives a penalty in the first half for something that looked a little bit soft. Then in the second half, he doesn't give it. Well, where's the consistency? In his head, does he think, I can't give 2 penalties in one game? You can give 10 penalties in one game if they're all penalties. So it's just that inconsistency all the time, isn't it? To me, I think that's a blatant penalty on Sterling. I don't want them. I think a draw is the result everybody wants. But, most people want a draw, apart from Chelsea and Man City fans. Arsenal fans don't care, obviously. But... It's just bad refereeing, and you wonder where VAR is again, don't you? I don't know. He's just a crap referee, and look, Chelsea fans, I think you can join in with me and say, yeah, it probably should have been a penalty because it's not going to be a penalty now. Basically, just put the blame on the referee. If you're Man City and Chelsea fans, shake hands and say, look, the ref's crap, because he is a crap ref. All we want as fans is consistency. Hudson-Odoi into the box. It's a dangerous run. Oh, Ederson's got it. Well, Hudson-Odoi could have had a penalty there. He's put the cross in, and then a FIFA penalty has been fouled after the pass. I think it's a good point here from SB says, what's funny is no one knows the rules for VAR, the rules for handball or the rules for penalties. Like, what are the rules? I think in relation to that one there with Sterling, the referees has seen it and has said it's not a penalty. So I think VAR, correct me if I'm wrong, I think VAR can only say to the referee, you might want to review that if it's a clear and obvious error. And there again is where VAR sometimes is not at fault, because it's human interpretation, isn't it? Is that a clear and obvious error? Is that a clear and obvious penalty? Now, some people, Man City fans, will say yes. Chelsea fans will say no, he's made a decision, he can't, so that's the problem. VAR will only get involved if they think it's a clear and obvious error, I think, on penalties. Mark, you look like you'd seen a ghost when those lads mentioned Sancho on your Instagram live last night. Hello, darkness, my old friend, says Joshua Bawater. Yeah. Here's Werner in the box. Good cross! And they've won it! Chelsea have won it at the end. That's a massive 3 points. Liverpool fans, West Ham fans, they'll be absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted. Chelsea win it at the end. Well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's a massive 3 points in the top 4 race. And I do actually feel for West Ham. I feel bad for West Ham because their chances of getting top 4 are going to be really hard now. But in fairness, over the last 25 minutes, Chelsea have been the better side. If Man City get that penalty, they probably win the game and they win the title. Alonso scores it. Werner with the assist. You can't argue about the legitimacy of the goal. You can't argue with the fact that Chelsea arguably have been the best side second half. What you can say is that it's right at the end. And I just feel a little bit sorry for West Ham. Liverpool, it's a massive blow for them. If we look at the league table now, Chelsea have got 64 points. Takes them into third place. So 64 points for Chelsea. Which puts them 6 points ahead of West Ham, who are 5 points behind Leicester. So, I tell you what, if I was Leicester, I'd be shitting myself. Liverpool not out of it, but Chelsea probably just about secured themselves top 4 with that win. Because Chelsea go up to 65 points. I don't think West Ham are going to catch Chelsea. I don't think Liverpool are going to catch Chelsea. I think they're going to be looking at Leicester, because Leicester have got a hard run in. Remember, Chelsea have got to play Leicester as well. That's going to be a massive game. But that's the final whistle, everybody. That is the final whistle. It's a big, big win for Chelsea. Basically gets them top 4. City haven't won the league yet. And it finishes 2-1 to Chelsea. Tuchel beats Pep again. Will he make it 3 times in a row in the Champions League? Pep will... I mean, look, I said it during the game. There is a real battle there between Chelsea and Man City. There's not a lot between these two teams. They're very, very, very close in ability. Man City are not dominating Chelsea when they play them. Chelsea are giving as good a game. I think the final of the Champions League is going to be very interesting. Man City are favourites because they're going to win the Premier League. That's why they're favourites. But Chelsea and Tuchel at the moment, that final is going to be very, very interesting. Dane Grayson says it's all subjective. People shouldn't see VAR as a computer. It's just another ref, so it's still all about opinion. Andrew Smith says Pep made his bed with that team, I'm afraid. Chelsea with a better side. And West Ham will qualify for the Champions League, right, as either Chelsea or City automatically qualify. Maybe United can help too if they win the Europa. There's only 4 spots for the Champions League sacking, unless Chelsea win it and don't finish in the top 4. So there's no extra spot going there. Anyway, look, I'm live on the United stand at 8 o'clock, so I will see you over there if you're going to join me. Thanks everyone for watching. Lots of people tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and I'll speak to you all very soon. I'm going to go and have my curry.